everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to give you guys my story time of how I miscarried. And I never ever thought that I would be able to sit here and talk about this. It is something I never expected to happen to me. I don't think really anyone expects for it to happen. And that's why I want to sit down and talk to you guys about this today, because not really a lot of people talk about it. And when it happened to me, it seemed like I was all alone and nobody could understand how I really felt, and nobody could understand what I was going through. So I just want to put this out there. Big disclaimer I want to talk about first is just because this happened to me and the way that I explain it to you does not mean that every miscarriage is like this or everyone finds out like this. This is my own personal experience, my own personal story. This is just me giving you guys the information. And I don't want to confuse anyone. I am currently pregnant right now, 16 weeks with baby boy, and everything is going great. So this has nothing to do with this pregnancy. This was my previous pregnancy and my first pregnancy. So I wanted to go over everything from the very beginning to when I found out and the surgery. So let's rewind back to January of 2020. I got off birth control, and I got off birth control thinking that it was going to take a few months to get pregnant. Most people think it's going to. I was on birth control for 8 years, so I kind of didn't know exactly how long to expect, how long it was going to take to conceive. I really didn't know. I wasn't sure. I've never tried to get pregnant before. I never had a pregnancy scare. It was always, I was always protected by birth control. And so I got off birth control and I found out February 4th that I was pregnant. So I found out actually around like 5 weeks that I was pregnant, and everything was great. I had no complications. Whenever you find out that you're pregnant, some doctors will bring you in to get blood work done to watch your HCG levels. So I went in, I called them, I said, hey, I'm pregnant, just found out. And so they were watching my HCG levels. I went in. The very first day I went in, I think that it was a 90. I remember this like it was yesterday, because I remember being like, whoa, like it's already a 90, because whenever you find out, it's like super low. So I was like, okay, it's already a 90. So if everything's going great with your pregnancy, then they should double within 2 days. Every 48 hours, your HCG level should double. So I went in 2 days later, and they went all the way from 90 to 490. So I was like, whoa, this is awesome. Everything's going great. And I was having no complications. I had no symptoms of anything going wrong, nothing. So they set up my first ultrasound to be March 10th. That would have put me at 9 weeks and 2 days. So of course I was excited and everything was amazing. I do have a few video clips of when I found out I was pregnant. I actually took a video of me finding out I'm pregnant, so I'll put that right here. Also, I will post the picture that me and Chad took. That was gonna be our announcement picture. So the Friday before our ultrasound, I wanted to take our announcement picture. I wanted to have that ready so after ultrasound on Tuesday, then we could post and let everyone know that we were expecting. So we took this picture, and like I said, no symptoms, no bleeding, no cramping, nothing. I had no symptoms to let me know that anything was wrong. I was feeling good. I did not have any morning sickness. My pregnancy was going well. I had every normal pregnancy symptom, but not any to let me know that something was wrong. So, of course, Tuesday comes around and I was extremely nervous, and everyone kept telling me, oh, that's normal, like everyone gets nervous, and I don't know how to explain it. Like, my appointment was at like 8 a.m. I think, so Chad and my mom both came with me. So me and Chad went and picked up my mom, and the whole ride up there, it's like a 20-minute drive, I'm saying, I just hope everything's okay. I just hope everything's okay. And they're like, everything's gonna be great, like, don't worry. And I just had this feeling like, I just hope everything's okay. Like, I don't know why. I just had this gut feeling. Like, I was nervous. Like, I felt like I was literally going to throw up. That's how nervous I was. So we get there and we check in, and I go in. Chad and my mom were here. This is before the whole coronavirus thing. This is actually right when it just started happening, so we were still allowed guests. This is before like it like blew up. We go back there and we're in the ultrasound room, and she's like, okay, sorry, my phone. She's like, okay, undress, and they did a transvaginal ultrasound. So I'm in there, did a transvaginal ultrasound. The second that she puts like the wand in, you could see a baby. And the room literally was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. And I've never done this before. Chad's never done this before. My mom has. So I'm looking at my mom and she's looking at me, and she's just looking at me, and I'm just like, what is going on? And the ultrasound tech is measuring the baby. Like, so she's taking the measurements from like the head to the feet, and she's at least 10 minutes of her just measuring, no talking at all. When we first got in there, she said, all right, whenever we get a good picture, I'm gonna put your ultrasound on the big TV so that your family can see as well. And so I was like, okay, like, you know, all excited. And I was still nervous, but I was starting to get excited. And so we're sitting there, and she's like, so the baby's not measuring as far as long as I'd like. And of course, I literally felt like my heart just broke immediately. I didn't really know what that meant. I didn't know if that meant, wow, I'm already tearing up, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't know. I didn't know if that meant like maybe my dates were wrong. Maybe I wasn't as far along as I thought. But that was like, whew. That was like probably the worst thing you could hear in that moment. Like, you're already so scared. Oh, I did not expect to cry like this. Okay, so let me get myself together here. So my mom is looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and she's just trying to be positive for me. I think she knew, but she was just trying her best to be positive. And so Chad and I were clueless. So she hurries up, and she's pressing on my stomach to see if the baby would move or anything. And she hasn't said anything at this point. All she said was that the baby wasn't measuring as far along as I'd like. And on the screen, when they measure the baby, it tells you how far along your dates are, like how far along the baby's measuring. So by my measurements and by my dates, I thought I was at 9 weeks, 2 days. The baby was measuring 8 weeks, 5 days. So that, to me, that was like, okay, that's great. It's only a few days off. Maybe that's what she's talking about. So she immediately shuts off. She shuts off the ultrasound machine. And she's like, I need you guys to see the doctor. And so, of course, a million things are running through my mind. Like, why didn't she show us a heartbeat? Why didn't she put it up on the big screen for everyone to see? Why was the ultrasound so pitch quiet that literally you could literally hear a pin drop, that nobody was talking, nothing, like nothing was explained. She wasn't showing us the baby, nothing. So in my mind, I'm thinking, this is not good. Like, this is just not good. And so she puts us in the waiting room, and I'm shaking, and she's running back and forth. She's like, the doctor's not in yet, but I need you to see a doctor. And I was like, okay. So then she's like, I'm gonna take you over to this, next door to this, the other doctor. And I was like, okay. So we are sitting in that waiting room for about 20 minutes. And the whole time we're sitting in that waiting room, Chad's like, well, maybe everything's okay. Maybe you're just not as far along as we thought. And I'm like, no, Chad, like, she would have showed us a heartbeat. She would have explained to us more. It was so, like, sweet, him trying to, like, comfort me. Because it's not only my loss, like, Chad just lost a baby too, you know? And, wow, I haven't talked about this in a while, so. Ooh. Okay, so my mom actually miscarried before, so she has been through this, and she's being really comforting, and she is like, everything's gonna be okay, just calm down. And I was just a hot mess. I was so upset, obviously. I mean, I was so excited to be pregnant, and you just don't ever think it's gonna be you. Whew, I need to get a tissue. You never think it's gonna be you. Miscarriage rates are 1 in every 4 women. That is so many miscarriages. And nobody really talks about it. And I understand why, because it's hard. And you don't understand, like, you don't understand why it even happens, because the doctor can't even explain to you what is happening, because it happens. It's the way that the chromosomes are, and just the way that, like, that baby is formed, and it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And so eventually the doctor calls us back, and we're in this waiting room, or in, like, we're not in the waiting room anymore. We're actually in, like, the doctor's room, and we are sitting there, and at least 45 minutes goes by. And the way that they handled this was absolutely no way that you should ever handle this at all. And I feel like the way that they handled it made it triple times worse, because we're left unknown for at least an hour of us not knowing what was going on, of us just wondering, and our minds going and feeling heartbreak, but also trying to be hopeful, because we don't know at this point. Nobody told us what was going on. The ultrasound lady just made it known that the baby wasn't measuring as far along as she'd like, and that we had to talk to the doctor. So in my mind, I knew, but I also was just trying so hard to, like, grab onto any bit of hope that maybe something was okay. So we're sitting in this room. Time's going on, and the doctor walks in finally, and she's like, I'm so sorry. And I said, you're sorry for what? And she's like, your baby has no heartbeat. And I'm like, And obviously I started crying hysterically. That was the first that I heard it out loud from a doctor. Like, yes, I knew, but like I said, I didn't know. And she's like, immediately starts saying, well, here's your options. We can do a pill form to make you speed up, the process of losing your baby, or you can let it naturally happen, or you could do a surgery. And I'm like, you're not even explaining to me what even happened, and you're sitting here just acting like we're just throwing this baby away. And I understand that she's a doctor and she sees it all the time, but like, there was no compassion at all. And I didn't know what to do. In my mind, I'm thinking, what do you mean? I came in here just to see my baby growing, and now I'm trying to schedule to have a surgery? Like, it made no sense. I'm like, well, what happened? Like, when did this happen? And she's like, because of your dates, this happened within the last 3 days, which made it even worse, because I'm like, within the last 3 days, like, up until that time, my baby's heart was beating, my baby was alive, and within the last 3 days, my baby passed. Like, how? And I had no clue. So she was explaining to me that I had a miscarriage, that meant that I showed no symptoms. And so she did an exam on me to see what would be my best option, because I'm telling her that I don't know what to do as far as my options. I didn't want to have a surgery and end up ruining something in me, because there's always a risk. I didn't want them to like leave scar tissue, or if that would ruin my chances of fertility. I didn't want to do that. I also didn't want to take a pill and pass my baby, and every time I go to the bathroom, bleed and pass my baby. Like, that is traumatizing. So she did my exam, and she's like, I don't see that you're not gonna bleed. You're not gonna pass this naturally, because there's no symptoms. You're not even ready to bleed. And she's like, because you haven't even started the process, the pill form would be a lot of blood, and you would be passing a lot. And I said, I don't know if I can do that. And she said, if I was you, I would do the surgery. And I said, okay, well, what's the surgery, and when, and what, and how? And she's like, so we're gonna have to do this as soon as possible. And they like dilate your cervix. It's a full surgery. You go under. I went to Westmoreland Hospital. They put you under. It was about like an hour long, and they dilate your cervix, and they take out every bit that is remaining of your pregnancy. So that is the baby, the amniotic fluid, the placenta. They clean it all out. You still bleed after, you still cramp after, but you're not going to be passing your baby, and you're not going to be passing all of the remains that held that baby in you. So me and my husband and my mom talked, and that we thought that was the best option. So we scheduled it for Thursday. It was Tuesday when we were at the doctor's, so Thursday was the day that I had to have my surgery. So I didn't even know what to expect at that point. I didn't even know really what I was feeling. I didn't know anything. I just felt empty, like a feeling I've never felt before. And so we go home, and everyone is expecting good news from us. Like, our whole family knew that we were going to the doctors, and they were waiting for ultrasound pictures and letting them know like how the baby was and stuff. And I didn't even want to talk to anybody. So my mom made a few phone calls to like my dad and my brothers, letting them know what happened. And then Chad did the same as well. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to say those words out loud. So all of that whole day, Chad and I just laid on the couch, and it was just a rough day. It was just a day that it was just like nothing could make it better. Nothing could make it go away. Wow. I haven't talked about this in a very long time, so it's just bringing it all back up is just hard. So we took today, Wednesday. The following day I went to work. I had to put on my professional face and act like nothing was going on. I had some clients that knew I was pregnant, so they kept asking me, how's your pregnancy? And I'm saying it's going good. And I just didn't want to explain to anyone. I didn't want it to be real. I didn't want to tell people, because then it made it real. And so I worked Wednesday. Thursday was my surgery, and I went in and I left not pregnant anymore. Oh man. The surgery went well, and I left, and I was on like pain meds because there's a lot of cramping, there's bleeding involved, and it's just hard, and nobody really talks about it because it's hard to talk about it. I think about times all the time, like I talk about and I think about where I'd be at in my pregnancy right now. My due date was October 10th, so I would be in my 3rd trimester, and I would be like really, really close to having a baby. And it's just messed up. Like, it's just not even, it's a loss that like nobody can prepare you for. And like, I understand that a lot of women go through it, but like, I was 22 years old, and I thought that I was healthy, and the doctors explained to me that it was literally nothing that I could have done. That like, I didn't do anything wrong in my pregnancy, and I didn't, I couldn't have changed what was gonna happen. It was just, that baby wasn't meant to survive, and it was just, it happens in the way that the chromosomes are, and the way that the baby makes up. Just every day that baby's supposed to be growing, and something happened, and it is, as sad as it is what it is. You literally can't change it. You can't do anything to prevent it. You can't do anything to change it. And that's the worst part, is there's women out there that go through it time and time again. And it's just like, you guys are strong, because I don't even know how to even get through this one, let alone multiple. And now that I'm pregnant now, I am constantly in worry. You know, I'm 16 weeks now, which is amazing, and I'm so thankful. But I wanted to put this video out there because in those moments when you go through a miscarriage, you feel so empty and you feel like nobody can even relate to you. I didn't even feel like Chad could relate to me, and he was the father to that baby. But it's different. Like, it's not to sound selfish, but it's like the second you get pregnant, you feel a connection to your baby, and it just doesn't, I don't know how to explain it. And I'm not saying that Chad had no right to like feel what I felt, but that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that, like, no matter how much support he gave me, I still felt alone. I still felt like, why me? Why? What did I do? And don't feel that way. If I can make any impact on this video, sharing this, try not to feel that way, because your day will come and you will get your baby. And just keep praying and just keep trying, and one day you'll get your baby, and it will be a blessing like no other. And you'll get your rainbow baby, and once you do, it doesn't erase the bond that you had with my previous baby, because I look at that baby all the time, and that has shown me so much growth. And that baby is still my baby, and I think about him or her every day. Every time I think of this baby, I think of that baby as well. And my experience doesn't mean that everyone's experience is going to be this way, and doesn't mean that miscarriages happen the same exact way. I just wanted to give you guys my story. Hopefully I can relate to one of you, and maybe this can make an impact. I know that when I posted that I was pregnant, I put a little comment on the caption about miscarriages, and I had a few people reach out to me saying, like, thank you for posting that. You know, I just recently went through a loss and I needed that. And if I can do that to just one person, that just means the most to me, because I feel like I needed that when I went through it. And I'm always here if anyone wants to talk to me. I know that it's really hard. So if you ever need to talk to me, just reach out to me, and I'm all ears. But I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, because it will really support this channel of mine. And I hope to see you guys in my next video, and I love you guys. Bye.